Why would Ice Cube offer $5 million to a rookie Caitlin Clark for 10 games, yet refuse a single dime to the self-proclaimed Bayou Barbie? Cube's reply stunned TMZ, rattled sponsors, and rewrote the offseason power chart in one breath. Sorry, Angel, the $5 million was only for Caitlin. I don't do deals that lose money. Those 18 words sliced through every hype reel ever made about Angel Reese. Within 24 hours, executives froze campaigns, hashtags flipped from support to side-eye, and Reese's Reebok Trap Tour turned into a deserted set. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark stepped into Chicago and caused a street-level stampede, autograph lines wrapping corners, fans chanting like Jordan had risen from retirement. Same city, same weekend, two WNBA rookies, one undeniable verdict. If perception is currency, then Reese just watched her balance hit overdraft while Clark's climbed into billionaire territory. Stay until the final line, because you are about to witness exactly how Ice Cube's cold truth triggered the loudest sponsorship retreat in recent league history, why Clark's takeover has brands begging for inventory, and what Angel Reese must do this month or disappear from the big money conversation for years. Ice Cube's interview at LAX lasted less than 3 minutes, yet it sent a jolt through every marketing department tied to the WNBA. A reporter asked the Big Three founder why his league dangled $5 million in front of Caitlin Clark and not Angel Reese. Cube did not mince words. Sponsors only floated that figure for Clark because they believed she would cover their risk and more. He finished with a line that echoed through social feeds within seconds. "I'm not in the business of losing money." Executives who had never paid close attention to women's basketball suddenly opened spreadsheets. They compared recent engagement reports, ticket sale trackers, and online sentiment graphs. The difference between Clark's name and Reese's name was not a small gap. It was an entire column on the heat map. Boardroom enthusiasm cooled. A beverage rollout scheduled to feature Reese in a summer campaign shifted its budget toward college athletes with steadier metrics. An athletic apparel capsule that had already reserved studio time quietly froze production. The memo moving behind the scenes was blunt. If a savvy mogul like Ice Cube cannot justify writing a large check, why should we? Cube's soundbite mattered because he occupies both pop culture credibility and business credibility, street legend and studio boss, movie producer and league commissioner. When a figure that connected to multiple revenue streams declares a brand too shaky, conservative sponsors treat the verdict like due diligence. By night's end, internal emails circulated with the same subject line in different companies: reevaluate Angel strategy. The timing of those reevaluations clashed with a reality show unfolding in real life. Caitlin Clark arrived in Chicago for a road clash, and the city reacted as if championship banners were being raised before tip-off. Mobile phone videos showed fans sprinting through parking lot barricades just to catch a glimpse of her bus. Security guards formed human shields against teen girls screaming her name. Autograph seekers wrapped the United Center 3 deep, waving jerseys, signs, and sneakers at any staffer who promised to deliver a Sharpie. Local media outlets compared the frenzy to Michael Jordan's glory years, except the fandom carried social media velocity. One TikTok of Clark greeting a child in a Fever jersey cleared 10 million views before the game reached halftime. Meanwhile, Angel Reese's Reebok "Come to Your Trap, Take Over Your Trap" campaign, which had blanketed social channels in April, barely pulled new impressions. Clark generated organic takeover energy without a single paid influencer. For sponsors watching, the visual contrast was devastating. Clark's presence activated every lane of revenue. Merchandise tables sold out by the first quarter. Concession lines lingered long after tip-off. Television segments extended highlight packages to satisfy rating surges. The arena looked like playoff night, but it was only a regular season visit from a rookie. That level of draw is the difference between marketing hype and cultural gravity. Brand strategists logged the evidence. Marketing budgets hinge on predictable returns. Executives measure star viability by 3 pillars: sales conversion, content consumption, and brand safety. Caitlin Clark checks each box with room to spare. Her jersey tops global inventories across women's sports. Road games become instant sellouts that drive secondary ticket sites to record peaks. National broadcasts featuring her name routinely double last season's averages. That is stability the foundation sponsors love. Angel Reese still moves product, but the conversion charts reveal spikes tied to conflict moments rather than consistent performance. Brand managers see the pattern in quarterly dashboards. An interview exchange or social media controversy spikes clicks, then interest fades until the next flashpoint. That volatility triggers caution. One beauty company paused a partnership mid-negotiation, citing a need for steadier sentiment. A second-tier apparel brand delayed a limited edition shoe colorway after noticing declining engagement on Reese's channels outside headline weeks. CMOs care less about follower counts than sustained engagement. When a review shows comment sections divided between admiration and fatigue, companies hesitate. Cube's public remark functioned like confirmation bias for every cautious marketer. Suddenly, it was safer to wait than to commit.
In the middle of this sponsorship wobble, Angel Reese landed on injury reports as day-to-day with a lingering back strain. She missed highly promoted national matchups where Caitlin Clark's Indiana squad appeared on the other side of the bracket. Fans sympathized in comments, but still asked, is the injury timing a coincidence, or is her camp shielding her from direct comparison on prime time? Unfair or not, the speculation stuck. Attendance reports from those games told a stark story. Even with Clark sidelined for rest on certain nights, crowds remained at near capacity. When Reese sat, turnstile numbers dipped. Ratings followed a similar trend. Analysts on regional broadcasts and YouTube podcasts debated whether Angel's brand depended partly on feuding with Clark rather than outperforming her. The whispers reached agency ears. Advertisers do not enjoy crisis chatter overshadowing campaign rollouts. Another reason to pause. Angel Reese's basketball resume speaks for itself. Double-double machine, relentless rebounder, college champion, charismatic presence. Yet each time she references Clark in interviews or social posts, she reinforces a hierarchy that sponsors interpret as dependent branding. Commentary from sports influencers grew blunt. Stop orbiting Clark's gravity, prove a lane of your own. Reebok bet big on Reese's personality. That gamble becomes risky if public sentiment shifts from empowering to polarizing. Brands yearn for authenticity that translates to broad appeal. When comparison rhetoric dominates headlines, authenticity looks manufactured. A techwear company that once envisioned a lifestyle collaboration around Reese's Bayou Barbie persona moved its 2025 influencer slate toward younger college athletes with cleaner narrative arcs. The message is clear: standalone appeal is required.
Numbers eliminate spin. Clark's jersey sold out league-wide on draft night and continues to top sales lists monthly. Secondary ticket platforms mark a 300% jump when Indiana visits compared with last year's same market dates. ESPN and network partners document audience growth of 100 to 200% during Clark broadcasts. An Iowa exhibition drew a near-capacity crowd just to watch her shoot from the logo, then she signed memorabilia until staff turned off lights. That consistency is what investors seek. The Big Three assessed that consistency and deemed $5 million for 10 games a bargain. $500,000 per appearance equals prime-time NBA ROI. When a property can guarantee that level of attention, even skeptics write checks quickly. There is still plenty of runway for Angel Reese. She owns a strong social audience, brings defensive hunger every night, and has championship swagger. A blueprint for Rebound is straightforward. Shift the narrative from rivalry to refinement. Make the next viral clip a putback over a 7-footer, not a subtweet exchange. Lean into community activation events in Baltimore and Baton Rouge. Launch clinics that highlight her story separate from Clark's orbit. Media will cover good basketball first when the box score forces them. Strategists inside brands say it plainly. Produce on the floor, offer consistent engagement off it, trim controversy. The market will reward. A midseason scoring stretch combined with candid, comparison-free interviews can refresh perception. Fans craving genuine underdog redemption would rally. Sponsors love comeback arcs when data validates risk. Ice Cube spoke numbers, not beef. His statement triggered a chain reaction because it confirmed what data already whispered. Brands crave certainty, and Clark provides it in buckets of viewers, dollars, and sold seats. Angel Reese now stands at a crossroad. She can keep shadowboxing a player the league has already chosen as its primary engine, or she can reframe her own narrative and rise alongside. The WNBA wants multiple superstars. The stage is wide, but the audience rewards clarity. The next move is Reese's alone. Will she double down on persona wars or pivot to production that silences doubts? Drop your perspective in the comments. Does Angel reclaim her momentum by focusing on game first, brand second, or has Caitlyn closed the door for this era? Type your verdict, hit subscribe for the next brand shakeup, and remember, star power pays, clout chasing fades.